first, it's a bit of an exaggeration. I was not very successful. I mean, it was just doing my PhD and going along a scientific career. And it's a decision that was not sudden at all. Before I entered the Pasteur Institute to start the research and the PhD, I went to India in 1967 and met my spiritual master, Rinpoche, and became completely inspired by his quality of wisdom and compassion. So it really opened my eyes on the possibility of life that I had no idea. You know, I was not knowing what to do with my life, basically. So then, as I started doing my PhD, every summer I went 7 times back and forth from Paris to Darjeeling in India. And then I finished my PhD, and instead of doing a postdoc in the US or somewhere, I did my postdoc in the Himalayas for 50 years, so that's fine. And because that time, after 6 years, it was clear that that's where I wanted to live and what I wanted to do. And I never regretted. It was not a difficult decision. It was not a jump or slamming doors. It's just crossing a mountain pass and going to another valley. Very simple. Yeah, that's the ultimate success, yes.
And you said that was the ultimate success. What do you mean, and what is the exact experience of that?
Well, I wish I could do that fully, but at least that's my aspiration. Because you cannot say, may all beings be happy except my neighbors, and this guy I cannot stand, that doesn't work. It means you have not understood the point of compassion and altruism. Compassion and altruism are not moral judgment. Because you can say, oh, this is a terrible person, like say, a bloody dictator. Altruism is about bringing the causes of happiness, and compassion about removing the cause of suffering. So a bloody dictator is a huge cause of suffering. So it's not, the point is not to kill him, but to remedy to any, first of all, wish that made the hatred, the cruelty, the indifference, the greed that has made this person act in such terrible way, may that be eradicated. May I work in education, in help, so that this kind of person doesn't arise from society. So it's all about dealing with the cause of suffering wherever they are, whatever shape they take, in whichever condition they manifest. So in that sense, you don't exclude a dictator. It's not saying, oh, he's not such a bad guy after all. Nothing to do with that. It's not. Moral judgment is one thing. It's terrible what that person is doing. But compassion is about finding the skillful way. No, it's like a doctor. You see a mad person, violently mad person, comes to the doctor. He's hit the doctor. Doctor is not going to take a big stick and smash down the head of the person. He's going to restrain the person on the chair and then find a cure. That's compassion. It's not killing the patient. It is a fact that genuine altruism does exist. It doesn't mean that everyone is all the time altruistic. Of course not. We know there's no need for scientific proof that selfishness exists, because everybody is convinced that it exists, and there's only that. What the science has shown is that along with selfishness, there is genuine altruism. There are people who, at some moment in their mind, the main goal of an action, a word, or an intention is to benefit others, and that's the ultimate goal. That's altruism. Someone like Daniel Batson, a well-known psychologist, has spent 30 years showing that very ingenious stratagems in his lab. And so far, there was no selfish explanation for the experiment that he did. So, and they say about 40% of subjects, when given the chance to behave selfishly, did behave altruistically. So no, that's given. And doesn't mean that even those people can be altruistic all the time. And If the cost is too high, for instance, they may give up altruism and behave in a selfish way. But the second thing, which is so important, is once this is shown, then mental training can enhance that. That means more people can be more altruistic more often. And that makes a better society. And that's what neuroscience is showing through neuroplasticity, that's what meditation and contemplative science have shown for the last 2,500 years, that you can cultivate and magnify this capacity for altruism that might be a bit small and not very strong, and make it vaster and stronger. Well, the mind can be our best friend, but also our worst enemy. So, for instance, there are many causes for that. Rumination, excessive self-centeredness, there are many causes. But what's interesting is that several researchers, like John Teasdale and many others, have shown now for last 30 years, I mean, I can't name all of them, but that a mindfulness-based cognitive therapy, which deals with rumination, exaggerating things, and being so always self-centered, is as efficient to prevent relapse of depression in people who had 2 or 3 episodes than medication. And then when you do the 6-month training, if you stop, because 6 months is over, the effect goes on 1 year later, because now you have used to deal with your mind in a different way and not let it be caught by rumination. While medication, it stops when you stop taking the medicine. It doesn't mean that we should not take medicine. It means that you can combine or replace, depending on cases, but that it can be helped to deal with the mind. So it's also an issue with society which are maybe very individualistic. I mean, there's many factors in modern life that contribute to an increase of the incidence of depression. And it's a serious problem. At least in Europe, the average age of the first depression now, for those who suffer from depression, has come down from 27 years old to 16 years old in over 30 years. So it is a societal problem. There are many causes for that. One of them might be hyper-individualism and excessive self-centeredness, how I feel all the time. If you think, I feel all the time, it's very depressing, because the world is not a mail-order catalog for your desire and your feelings and all that. I went in the US, there's a drugstore chain, it's cool. So the advertisement on the top of every shop is, how do I feel? How do I look? What do I want now? So my answer was, I feel very good, thank you. I don't care how I look, and I don't need anything. So then I'm fine, I don't need to go to that drugstore.